Orla. Well, Taoiseach, you're no Elvis. It might be more Daniel O'Donnell. But I do want to congratulate you personally on your term as Taoiseach. Your many years' experience as a parliamentarian has stood to you. You've been courteous and balanced, generally speaking, and have maximised, in an understated way, the art of the political announcement. I doubt there was ever a Taoiseach who was as successful at creating photo opportunities and making announcements. In fact, there were many announcements that your government have made that never got to the next stage, except that the next stage, for the most part of the projects, was the re-announcement, such as the MRI scanner in Wexford, or the 96-bed ward, new ward for Wexford General, or a new university campus for Wexford. So I presume that the new Taoiseach will announce them all again when he comes back into office. In saying that, Taoiseach, I do not doubt your absolute commitment to public service and the office of An Taoiseach, and nor do I doubt your sincerity. But one thing that surprised me about you was your commitment to processes, rather than the delivery of projects, which is the hallmark of your government. So many worthwhile projects are caught in the political processes that it collapses their delivery. One other thing that struck me was how you responded to the adverse findings by SIPO in relation to a senior public official. And instead of giving teeth to that finding and ensuring accountability, your government undermined SIPO by appointing that public servant to a state board, he having had a most damning finding against him. So in light of the revelations in the EU Parliament today, in regards to the scandal of breaches in ethics and standards, and having listened to the response of the EU President Ursula von der Leyen, would you agree it is now time for you to do the same? Will you give a commitment as Taoiseach that you will overhaul our standards in public office legislation to enable it to give effect to findings, ensuring that you can in future stand over best practice in both standards and ethics in public office, and where it's proven to be breached, ensure that there is rigorous, meaningful accountability? In this area of public administration, we need transparency in the process to produce an effective regime, not an internal job developed by people who will be subject to the new ethics regime and who have a vested interest in limiting independent oversight. We need accountability in the public and civil service, and now is that time, Taoiseach.
First of all, again, thank the Deputy for the introduction early on, although I am a bit bemused that I've earned the title apparently of photo op. I think there's many colleagues all over the House who would be very disturbed with that accolade being passed on to me. Could I assure the Deputy that anybody who knows me in the government ranks know I'm all about delivery, not about photo ops, and not about process. I'm a very impatient politician when it comes to moving from concept to reality and to getting things done. In terms of the South East Technological University, we now have 5 established, I think about 4 during the term of this government. So that's putting concept into reality. And we've been very active, particularly in terms of the South East Technological University, which has been a long-running story and narrative, but it's so important for the economic, social and academic development of the South East more generally. And the campus in Wexford is well in hand. I think you know that. I think Minister Harris knows that as well. And I think generally, politically, I just give one sound note of warning. All of us politically should be careful of chasing the particular site or the particular, I'm not saying you are here, or particular land, because all we do is we raise the land values generally around the place. The state should go in low-key when it wants to acquire land for education, for health, or for whatever purpose. Apologies? Is it?
Wexford.
Yeah, and you were a Minister for Public Expenditure, and you know full well what I mean. You would endorse everything I've said.
I allocated the money for it 6 years ago, still not bought.
It's Deputy Murphy's time. Yeah, but that's called agility on the floor, you know. But in any event, in terms of SIPO, I think you've raised this issue over a period of time, and I think I've been consistent in saying to you that no public official or no CEO of a local authority should ever place conditions or endeavour to influence the output of a local radio station. That's a very strong view I'd hold. It's very fundamental to democracy. In other words, one can't, and I'm not saying this happened in any given situation, but one can say that we spend money through advertising and so on, and the consequence of that is that the station should somehow align with the views of the council or not be critical of the council. I think there has to be editorial independence at all times. That said, and SIPO then made a judgment in that case, and it fell for the county council to deal with it. We have a devolved system. We delegate to the local authorities. Government actually doesn't have a role in a situation like that. The Minister for Public Expenditure has engaged in a very comprehensive review of SIPO. He went out to public consultation. He has received numerous submissions. He brought the outcome of that to Cabinet today. I'm wondering, is there some mental telepathy going on in the House in terms of their understanding of what was passed at Government today? Well, that was passed as well at Government today and approved by Government to now move into actually not just updating, but fundamentally, I think, advancing the legislation underpinning SIPO into the future. That will eventually come to the House as well, and your input will be very much appreciated in that regard.
Oireachtas Murphy.
Taoiseach, I wish you and your family well, and I'm sure that they're very proud of you, and so they should be. Your departure is more hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back next week as the Taoiseach. So you can appreciate that I must be careful about eulogising your time as Taoiseach, as I'll probably be here, as the culture in the House is. I'll have to hold you to account next week. Thank you. Bless Cian Corla.